Okay, the next receiver based on NFL Mock Draft Database is Jayden Higgins out of Iowa State, projected at pick 65. So this would be right there around the Browns' first pick in the third round at 67. Jayden Higgins, I like this kid a lot. 6'4", 214 pounds, 22 years old, ran a 4.47 40-yard dash. NFL draft profile. Big inside, outside, wideout with modest athletic attributes, but outstanding ball skills that make him a projectable NFL prospect. Higgins needs a more limited route tree, but can operate on all three levels in the right scheme. He's smooth but physical in his routes and does a nice job of creating pockets of separation with force and strength. He has mismatched qualities from the slot with body control and a catch radius that make him a menace on jump balls downfield. He won't outrun cornerbacks and is nothing special after the catch, but his size, ball skills, and competitiveness create a profile of production as a future contributor in three wide receiver sets. In 2024, Jayden Higgins had 129 targets, 87 receptions, 1,185 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Excellent production. He had about a 70-30 split out wide to the slot. He 330 yards after the catch, so just 28%, like they said, not a big yak threat. Just 3.8 yards after the catch per reception. That's pretty low. He did have a 2.66 yards per route run, so that is very nice. That is a solid number. We like that. 12.1 ADOT, that's nice, and only 2 drops. Very nice as well. 58.3% contested catch rate. Like I said, another guy here, he's got consistent production, kind of like I talked about with Trey Harris. 7 of his 13 games with 7 or more catches. 5 of the 13 games, he had 100 more yards. Not the big blow-up games like we saw with Harris with the 175, and he had like 3 of those, I think, and 1 game over 200. We didn't see that with Jayden Higgins, but he also had a teammate who had a lot of production as well, so that could have contributed to it. But he's still, Jayden Higgins, solid, reliable production for his team this past season. Okay, moving over into Fantasy Pros to look at what they have to say about Jayden Higgins. Yards per route run, he ranked 27th in the nation. PFF receiving grade, first in the nation. Their write-up says Jayden Higgins is a physical X wide receiver. His play strength shows up in his routes and against press coverage. He has no issues playing through contact and dealing with physical corners. It shows up consistently at the catch point, as he had a 2.2% drop rate or lower in each of the last 3 seasons and a 55.6 contested catch rate over his entire collegiate career. Dog check. This is one of those guys. Higgins excels in the short intermediate areas of the field with surprisingly nimble footwork for his size. He gets open at will on slants and out routes where his footwork shines. Uses his size to box out corners, and I wouldn't be surprised if he were to transition to a big slot role in the NFL. If a guy like, I love this part, if Sean Payton drafts him, don't be surprised if Payton turns Jayden Higgins into Michael Thomas 2.0. Higgins has a decent second gear, but I question his long speed. I wonder if in the NFL, does he have the raw speed to stack corners on the perimeter downfield consistently? Higgins has plenty of route nuance in the short and intermediate routes, but he has to continue to add tricks to the bag as a downfield receiver. He struggles to get separation on go routes, but he wasn't asked to run them much at Iowa State. Higgins also needs to sell the vertical push on comebacks and curls more consistently. Sometimes he'll get lax here and there, and it leaves corners glued to him after his route break. He has nice body control in the air and some nice back shoulder grabs, especially in the red zone. His strong hands and ability above the rim should help him on the perimeter and in the red zone in the NFL. Higgins is not a dynamic yak threat. He looks more like an athletic tight end after the catch. He can provide some yak, though, with his physicality and tackle-breaking skills. So they comp him developmental Michael Thomas, like they mentioned before, especially if like somebody like Sean Payton were to draft him there in Denver. For me, I think that the floor, you're looking at Cedric Tillman. He's got a lot of the traits and a lot of the things that Cedric Tillman came to the NFL with, but I definitely like Jayden Higgins out of Iowa State.